It has never been a more exciting time to be part of uni life. For most, university marks an important milestone for students. From their first experience of living away from home, to creating lifelong friendships, and to sampling what life has to offer outside of study time.
I expect it to be, fun, interesting.
Cameras exclusively followed students and staff from 8 universities as they journeyed through an unforgettable year of challenges, new experiences, and celebrations.
We graduated!
This is My Uni Life. This time on My Uni Life, we are backstage at the Galway International Arts Festival with University of Galway students who are looking for their big break in the world of the arts.
Oh, that was amazing.
We catch up with University of Limerick student Rosie, who is tasting life at a leading Irish software company.
I was a bit anxious.
And we meet the conferring team at Trinity College Dublin ahead of a busy graduation season.
So this is where it all happens.
For over 13 years, the renowned Galway International Arts Festival has partnered with the University of Galway to help deliver to the world a unique arts and cultural experience. Patrick Lonergan is Professor of Drama and Theatre Studies at the university.
The university has a partnership with the Galway International Arts Festival, and as part of that, our students get to go behind the scenes every year. They get to hear from artists, they get to see the work, and they get to meet audiences at the festival. When students graduate, it's often the case that they don't know how to get a foothold in the creative industries. They don't know how to break in. There's a huge gap between the university sometimes and the professions. What a course like Selected with the International Arts Festival does is it bridges that gap. It shows students how they can make the leap from the classroom to the professional arts environment.
The CEO of the festival, John Crumlett, has a long association with the university.
My love affair with Galway started earlier. I was a student in the university, did a degree, left, but I never really got it out of my system. I think Galway is a bit like that line in Hotel California. You can check it anytime you want, but you can never leave. That's what Galway is. The festival features a mixture of theatre, dance, comedy, music, discussions, and this year will be our biggest festival to date, and we're very excited about a lot of what's going on in terms of temporary venues, in terms of the broad church work we're doing, and we're very much looking forward to inviting everybody to Galway to experience it.
Rena Bryson is a past graduate of the Selected programme who has since established her own theatre company. She is now managing the programme.
Selected is a completely unique programme, as in the students who participate in Selected get to experience the full 2 weeks of the festival. They get to see shows, they get to volunteer and see behind the scenes, and they get to network with leading industry professionals that are national and international. Anyone who's studying at University of Galway can apply to be a part of Selected. It doesn't have to be someone from an arts background. You could be doing engineering, you could be doing medicine, you could be doing law, technology, anything. There's 14 applicants this year.
Rena is meeting some of the Selected group ahead of the festival. For Aileen McCarthy, the programme offers a valuable opportunity to possibly change career, swapping accountancy for a life in the arts.
I was an accountant for a long time, currently doing a master's in creative writing and looking to get into the creative arts industry, probably on the business admin side of things. My biggest worry going back to college as a mature student was my age, and the fact that I felt a bit kind of, I suppose, out of touch with all the younger guys in the class. But there was a lot more other things to worry about, like getting the work done and finding the time with 2 young children to do all the work. It's the best thing I've ever done. Like, I wouldn't regret it for a second, and I've had the best year doing the MA. So daunting, beginning with yes, now I just love it. I suppose I don't know what to expect from the programme. This is the first day, so we don't know we know we're going to get great access to people and insights and get to see great events. And I suppose that's why I'm doing it, is to see what will the challenges be. Can I do this? Is this something I can build a career? Is there space for me within the industry, within the environment to have a career?
So I'm initially from Luxembourg, and then I moved to Dublin to do my undergrad in English drama and film, and then I lived in Dublin for 4 years. But my undergrad was very theoretical, so then I looked into Galway, the Masters of Theatre Practice and Production, which then really kind of like offered me kind of like a marriage of kind of like the theoretical aspects with the practical aspects. I'm especially kind of like excited to like meet producers in the theatre industry and kind of like chatting to them and kind of like seeing how they got where they got, and kind of like how I can kind of like use some of their knowledge to make my own path afterwards.
Start date is rapidly approaching, and Rena has some tips to share with the group.
So my top tip for the festival is, one, look after yourself. So getting lots of sleep, getting lots of water. It might be tempting to just go all the time, but then you'll burn out. So look after yourself and know your own energy levels. And the second is to not be shy. It's a brilliant opportunity to meet people who are leading in their industry. And you'd be surprised, a lot of the time people don't want to say, oh, will you go for a coffee with me? Or, oh, can I ask you on this? A lot of the time people remember being there themselves and they want to help. So don't.
A recent drama studies student, Tara Mackin, has an eye on a possible future in the arts.
I did the Drama, Theatre and Performance Studies programme here, and it's a dual honours degree, so I was able to study Irish alongside it. My interest really does expand across different art forms like dance, music. I've also been able to learn different language between working with technicians, also working with performers, directors, stage managers. I think the opportunity to learn that language and that communication has really made me want to be a producer, to be able to pull it all together, take a lead, but also sit at the back and know that you pull the strings to make everything happen.
Later in the programme, we'll see how the group get on amidst the hustle and bustle of Festival Week. Over at the University of Limerick campus, the Innovative Software Engineering course, or ISE, is nearing the end of its debut year. Supported by the Collinson Brothers of Stripe fame, the course is helping create the tech leaders of the future.
It is a brand new software engineering course. It has a very small class size of 27 pupils. We get to have a master's in 4 years. You also get to do paid placements at different tech companies, which is fantastic. You get to have real industry experience.
Rosie Kennelly and her classmates are preparing for their first internships at some of Ireland's leading software companies.
Changing from between a course and going to industry is that there's so much more practical stuff here. Like, you would never experience like the large level code base that they'd have here within the college course. Getting like started on making the code cleaner and more readable, that was quite challenging for me at the beginning, because we learned how to do that like in the college course, but we didn't really like apply it to such a large scale. I was really focused on actually figuring out what every small tiny little bit of the code does, which was not the way to go.
Rosie's internship is with the team at Viotus, which is led by CEO and co-founder Paddy Finn, who is a graduate of the University of Limerick.
At Viotus, we build virtual power plants that will turn up and down the amount of power that large electricity customers are using and use that to balance the power system instead. And through us, those customers can get paid for reducing the energy they're consuming in the same way as power plants get paid for producing the energy. But we don't just deliver this as a service, we also develop the hardware, firmware and software that makes it possible. Like a lot of the team, I studied in UL from undergraduate up through to PhD. And in fact, the premise of Viotus was born out on campus in a bar in UL. And I was actually introduced to the IC programme by one of the team members in Stripe while they were developing the concept out with UL. And I really saw this as it's a step forward that's needed in the Irish third level education system, where students are actually learning in the environment in which they're going to be working and developing their careers. So from the get-go, I knew it was something that I really wanted Viotus to be involved in.
Rosie, how are you?
I'm very good, yeah.
How has your week been?
My week's actually been very productive. I've been working.
Rosie is reporting to Head of Software Engineering, John O'Donovan.
And now today we're going to be...
So we first met Rosie in January 2023. On the interview process, she came across as very confident and very motivated. we gave her some work in terms of refactoring when she joined first. And we've already seen that the knowledge she gained during the couple of weeks that she was working on that has gone into her next initiative, which is creating new functionality for our Network Operations Centre. But we can see evidence of learning already being applied, which is fantastic. Software engineering is a skill, okay? So you have to practice it. You can't sit down and read a book and at the end of the book say, I can do software engineering, because there are so many different aspects to software engineering. And also, like any skill or any trade, you know, the more you do it, the better you'll get. You know, and these guys, and especially Rosie coming out of the IEC course, they have the skill, they have the intellect, and they have the aptitude to put the things they're learning back into practice.
Different things to happen. Oh, it's been immensely important for me to get hands-on experience. Like, that's the way you have to learn coding, because if you don't like bash away at your keyboard and like learn how things work and how things fail, you're not really learning. So you can only truly get better through practice and through figuring out like why it breaks and how to fix it. I've gotten very comfortable asking people questions when I don't know something, and I'm not afraid to like come off as, you know, like I don't know it because I'm just not knowledgeable. It's just that I'm new to the company and I can't be expected to know everything, but everyone's so helpful and willing to answer anything that I might be confused about. I feel like I've definitely gotten a lot out of this course so far. Like even just the people that are in the course, they're just amazing. There's so much camaraderie between us all, and there's such a good environment, and we have the opportunity to learn like a range of skills. Like, we've covered so many different topics.
So having had the experience that we've had here with Rosie as part of our team now, we're really hoping that we'll get more ISE students join us, not only as part of their residency programs going forward, but hopefully as graduates to actually begin their careers with us.
To wrap up her first year in university, there is another placement waiting for Rosie.
So I'm excited for the next steps. For our next company, I'm going to go to KX, and they deal with time series databases. I'm going to be in there for 15 weeks, and they're situated in Dublin. And it's going to be amazing because I'm going to be working with like another ISE student there, and we're all great friends, so it's going to be perfect.
Over at Trinity College Dublin, it's the start of the conferring season, and it's the busiest time of the year for Lorraine Norton and the rest of the organising team.
This is what's known as the public theatre. As you can see, it's very, very grand. This time next week, it's going to be set up slightly differently to what you see now at the moment, but it will be filled with the hustle and bustle of our guests and our candidates and some of our colleagues from different schools. There'll be lots of different colour and noise and laughter. One of the key elements on the day is to shepherd and make sure that all of the candidates are in their right places at the right time, and that they're all sitting happily, and we have everybody allocated for, and that our guests are all seated happily as well. So that's one of the more interesting parts of the job, just to make sure that we're not giving the wrong degree to the wrong person at the right times. I suppose one of the biggest challenges for our team is that the ceremonies themselves are conducted in Latin. And that ties back to ancient times when universities throughout Europe used Latin as their common language and the language of learning. The public orator who is here in college is so very supportive of us and definitely helps us out with every aspect of it, ensuring that the Latin itself is correct, in line with the regulations and the statutes, and is also inclusive and has been slightly, brought into the modern day and age so that the students themselves are also represented correctly. When I started the role first, I attended Latin classes here in college along with the students and had to do the tests at the end of each week as well. So that was a definite eye-opener.
Registrar at the university, Professor Neville Cox, has presided over the graduations for the past number of years.
So next week I will welcome the candidates at the beginning of the ceremony, and I'll be the one person who speaks to them within the ceremony in English. And so at the beginning, I tried to talk to them about their own individual journeys and to make the point that from Trinity's standpoint, what's important is not that we are graduating a bunch of students from a cohort, but that we are graduating you and you and you. When you think about it, that genuinely is hugely emotional. There's so much negativity and so much cynicism around. And to focus on something which is just purely joyful, a success story, which is the sort of the triumph of the human spirit as much as it is the triumph of the human intellect, is something which is a real privilege to be part of.
There's a million different scenarios that run through my head every time we walk into a ceremony of all the different things that can go wrong. Thankfully, we plan ahead and have contingencies for almost everything we could possibly think of. And if something comes up that we have no control over or we haven't got an immediate solution, we'll sit down and we'll work with the person and we'll find something that works for them as well. So the focus is that the person themselves gets the most special day. I love the ceremonies. I absolutely love them, and the adrenaline and just the feedback, because it's immediate. You can see it in all the faces as you look around and you're talking to the people as they come in and how are you and how are you feeling, and you know, it's nice, and you can see some of them are a little bit nervous and you can go, oh, you'll be grand, you know, you'll be fine. That buzz, you can't buy that. It's phenomenal.
We are back with Lorraine and the rest of the conferral team next time as the year's first graduates arrive on site for their big day.
I cried. I loved it. Yes. Yes.
Back in the West, the Galway International Arts Festival is underway and the selected programme students are deep in the thick of it.
It's going fantastically well. We're getting to meet loads of people, seeing some really cool stuff. You don't think about a lot of these people that work behind the scenes when you think about the Arts Festival, when you're just kind of going to things, but actually all the work that it takes and all the people that are kind of working away behind the scenes, kind of keeping things ticking over. I'm really enjoying getting to hear from them and their insights, which is kind of more where my interest lies, in the background of things and the kind of admin and strategy and all that kind of stuff.
Engaging with the public is an important facet of the programme.
Where are you guys from? Brazil. So if you want to have a look through the brochure, there's some great gigs as well going in the big top.
So the festival benefits having the participants from selected as festival ambassadors, because they're seeing so many of the shows. They are the perfect people to inform the public about the festival.
If you like theatre, every brilliant thing, that was gorgeous. It's wonderful. That's on for the whole festival.
So have you seen anything in the festival yet?
We went to
Everyone on the course is really, really nice. Because you spend so much time together, it's kind of like a summer camp. And then also because everyone is quite different, you're able to kind of like help each other and kind of like maybe even kind of like give each other ideas and kind of like maybe work together in the future.
The highlight for the students is participating as industry observers for the internationally acclaimed show The Pulse, which is being staged on the university's grounds.
So we're about to head to the Festival Theatre, and we're actually going to have a nice Q&A session with some of the artists from the company. So that's really exciting, especially a show of this scale, to get an insight.
To be honest, Gravity and Other are probably the best company in the world at this particular type of thing that they do. So for the students to actually see it and then go and meet them, and the cast are not much older than the students they're meeting, it gives them an idea of where they have to get to.
I'm so excited for this. They're such talented acrobats. I loved their show last year, so I can't wait to see what they do, because they always bring it up a level.
The cast and crew of The Pulse don't disappoint as they launch into action.
Oh, that was amazing. So there was real high energy from the acrobats, and then the beautiful singing of the choir. It was just amazing to see it all together.
Afterwards, there's a valuable workshop with the performers of the show and the creatives behind it.
How did you start working with that choir? Like, where did you find each other?
The idea for the show was because flying such big groups of people around the world is expensive and difficult, would be to work with a new choir in every place you bring the show.
The group have been so engaged and so excited about every speaker. And when I'm creating the speaker series, I'm really tailoring it to the specific group that I have. So I have one-on-one interviews with each of the students before we start selected. So I've made sure that I've curated the program to match their needs and their ambitions. So for example, we have a student who really wants to be a technician. She's really into lights and sound. So I've made sure that this year I have Cornelius Dwyer, who's the lighting technician, a house tech at the McLally Theatre, come in to speak with them. So everybody is meeting somebody who's really important to their field and their practice.
For the festival, it has really exceeded my expectations so far. Every show has just been outstanding, the variety of work as well. What I've really enjoyed as well is when we come out of a show or a production, the variety of opinions that come out. No one's trying to impress the other or anything. Everyone is just really free in giving their own opinions, their own insights, coming from various cultures, backgrounds. We have people from the States, Luxembourg.
The partnership between Galway International Arts Festival and the University of Galway continues. And plans are already being made for next year.
It's really important for our students to get real industry experience. There's the hands-on, day-to-day experience of just seeing how all of this amazing festival works. But there's also something really important there about ambition. We're saying to our students, this is what the best in the world looks like. Aspire to that, achieve that yourselves. So it's about inspiring them too.
I suppose when I was growing up and when I was thinking about what I would do, the arts never seemed to me to be something that was kind of I could have gotten involved in. But now looking at this and the opportunities I've had over the past week or so, I think it's possible and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen.
I recently just received the news that I'm going to be curating a small festival here in Galway next June. So it's really, really nice to see how different audiences here consume art, what they want to see, what surprises them, and just to see the buzz as well it creates. It's really gotten me excited to dive into this project.
We think that culture is very important in terms of the development of any society. I think any society that's perfect but is cultureless isn't really a great thing for a community. It builds community, it builds imagination, and it's just great in terms of developing a sense of community around the place.
Next time on My Uni Life. It's graduation day for thousands of students across the university sector, marking for many the end of college days and the beginning of exciting new opportunities.
We graduated!